All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Love is in the air. We're here in the Lions' Den for the final game of the regular season as Penn State Brandywine take on the visiting Seahawks of St. Mary's. Tonight's United East matchup between Brandywine and St. Mary's has major playoff implications. Brandywine enters with a chance to grab the 1 seed, but they'll need a win and some help from Harrisburg against Lancaster Bible. If LBC wins, Brandywine slots into the 2 seed, and if Brandywine loses tonight, they could fall as low as 5th. That's how tight this conference race has been all season. St. Mary's, led by veteran head coach Chris Harney, is looking to shake up the bracket, but have already done enough to guarantee a low playoff seed. This game bigger for Brandywine than for the Hawks, that's for sure, but they're trying to spoil the party here on Senior Day. This is Hunter Stravachi live on the ball, Brandywine Athletics Live. Happy to be back with you here from the Lions' Den. No place I'd rather be on Valentine's Day. And Penn State Brandywine name a pretty strong starting lineup, featuring, of course, those 2 seniors, Amari Little and Jaden Fogg. They start alongside Javon Nelson, high-volume scorer Corbin Hall in the second, and inside threat, Jabri White. The visitors line up as follows. It's Blair, Thompson, Hyde, Coverman, and Salo. The starting 5, the first 3, Blair, Thompson, Hyde, all freshman members of this team. 6-6 on the season are the Seahawks, facing 10-2 in the conference. Penn State Brandywine, who have reached unprecedented heights here in the D3 era. Their schedule proved to be competitive and balanced, mixing challenging non-conference tests with crucial East matchups. They battled through tight games all year, showing resilience and close finishes. Ultimately, conference play defined their season with several meeting games down the stretch that shaped their positioning. It was a schedule that tested them and revealed both their growth and grit. And here they are today with a chance to grab that top spot in the conference. It'll be Brandywine to control the tip here. Well, the main event normally on a game like this is the senior spotlight, but today it's all to play for. Brandywine not trying to give up on the hopes of that 1 seed. Of course, it is not in their hands. They're relying on Harrisburg to beat Lancaster Bible. But there is a 4-way tie at the top of the table right now. Brandywine, Harrisburg, Lanc Bible, and Cairn all fighting for that number 1 spot. It all comes down to the final day. Late drama just as you'd like to have it. No place better to catch your basketball than on the ball on this final day of the conference schedule. Ball with Fogg. He kicks it out to Little, senior to senior here on Senior Day, into Nelson. White trying to drive towards the rim here. And he puts it off the glass, finishes, and grabs the foul. Oh, what a season from Jabri White. Extreme efficiency with a smart shot selection. Doesn't shoot that 3 too often, but when he does, he scores at a 42% clip. Gotta say, his only weakness really is from this position at the foul line, but he finishes off the 3-point play and puts Brandywine up to start this game. Ball with Corey Blair. Blair is their primary perimeter scorer. Very efficient player and very active defensively. 13.8 points per game leads the team, and his team gets off the mark here in the Lions' Den. Well, it's Amari Little here on the ball. Last season, you could argue he carried the offense. This season, it's a very different story. He is he stitches together the offense, I should say. Brandywine's point guard options have been decimated all season, with Damir Shelley hurt for the majority of the campaign. And it's been Little to pick up the slack, and you got to say he's really risen to the occasion. Still averaging 10.5 points per game. He's got 44 assists to lead the side this season. And as long as he's on the floor, Brandywine have a chance to create, to score, and to win, as Deuce Holland puts a little bit too much on that 3 ball. Rebounded by Fogg, who forces possession his way. Now 2 minutes into this contest, Brandywine do hold the edge here over the Seahawks. It's in for Jabri White. Closed down by 2, doubled in the paint. Kicked out, it's Little. Nelson launches and finishes the bucket. Well, Nelson playing his 60th Penn State Brandywine game today. Marks the occasion with a 3 ball to put his team up 4. Nelson, such an important member of this team. One of Berg's first new players to work with a couple of seasons ago. One of his first freshmen. SMC put up the bucket there, but Fogg will look to reply here. His drive is smothered. Little launches the 3 ball and just about misses. Close call there. Good shot, but it rims out. Here come the Hawks. 3 taken. Back-to-back misses for both teams. Jake Coverman unable to find the hole there. There's his drive, gliding into the paint like a Rolls Royce and finishing off the glass. Something that we've got used to here in the Lions' Den, and something that we'll miss after our senior Jaden Fogg moves on. He is the most efficient high-usage scorer on the roster at 50.3% from the field and 41% from the 3. Such a versatile guy who finishes inside and spaces the floor too. And another guy who this season has sort of changed his role in this team. He was playing more of a Jabri White role, you could argue, last season. This season, though, he's been given license to step outside and take shots when he can. I feel like he's a player who really embodies Coach Burke's ethos of defense first. Once that became solid, both him and the team, they've both been given license to score, and score they have. Penn State Brandywine scoring, I think, 200 or 300 more points at this stage of the season than they had last year. And, of course, there will be more as they are guaranteed a playoff spot. Top 4 seeds important in the United East. Highest seed hosts. And I believe there's a first-round bye involved as well. 14 teams, with, I believe, 10 spots up for grabs in the tournament. Brandywine holding the Hawks scoreless for a little while. Pass was for Ben Bass, who's back on the ground. Good to see him out there in Brandywine colors, the junior, but he couldn't reach that ball. The Seahawks knock one down from the corner, and there's the customary early Coach Burke timeout. Well, Brandywine are looking to increase their win streak to 7. A streak that long hasn't happened since 2023 and has never happened in the D3 era. They are on their finest run of form, playing as a D3 program right now. The longest streak actually in Brandywine basketball history is 9 straight wins. That was during the 05-06 season. Hard work, the message out of the timeout for St. Mary's as Penn State Brandywine retake the floor. Jack Swider checks into the action. Isaiah Johnson as well. Swider well and truly this team's 6th man. He's got a double-digit average in 600 minutes from the bench. Easily the top bench producer. But here's another one, Gadanya, who misses that 3. Gadanya's had some patchy performances, some incredible moments from downtown with 17-point games back-to-back, and then he's gone a little quiet. But he's one of those guys who can change the game with one throw of the ball. There's a nice throw of the ball from SMC. They're within 1. They take the lead here. They vault in front. My apologies. 2-point lead held by the Hawks as Johnson looks to muscle his way towards the rim. Johnson, a player with really big shoes to fill. He may be that guy to step up in Fogg's position next season. Although, knowing Coach Burke, he probably has a couple tricks up his sleeve as far as the transfer portal is concerned. Probably already has his eye on Fogg's replacement. Whether or not they're in the squad is up to the imagination as Catania comes forward and scores off the glass. Don't see him inside too often, but the pace buys him the space, and he makes it all the way to the rim. Blues call time. They're led by Coach Chris Harney. He was appointed way back in 2006 as the program's all-time winningest coach. He's got well over 300 career wins now, posted his 300th in January of 2025. He's led St. Mary's to 10 winning seasons, 6 regular season conference titles, 4 conference tournament championships, and 5 NCAA tournament appearances. But they've not been at their very best for almost a decade. They had their best run under him in 2013 with a 27-win season. And he's looking to get them back to the top, to the peak of their powers. And he knows a thing or two about playing for this program. He's a former Seahawks student athlete in his own right. Warren trying to steal back that ball. We've spoken about him at great length, about his stealing ability. 36 on the season to lead the team. He's a top 10 possessions generator in the conference this season. He's been invaluable to this program since his transfer in from Newman. And just to put that into some context, he's played 8% of the team's total minutes this season, but he's managed over 20% of the team's total steals. Something of a role player when called upon. First throw is missed. It's Jake Coverman shooting 80.5% from the foul line. He has started all 23 games this season for the Seahawks. Part of a 3-headed attack. He, Blair, and Cromaudo. If they're efficient in game, they are a dangerous team. Not the most explosive side, though. They're a well-balanced outfit. But they're going to have to play some pretty great basketball here in the Lions' Den to come away with the result, especially in a big game. And Brandywine this season have risen to the occasion time after time. And unfortunately, I missed it, but that win against Harrisburg, really the case in point. One that Brandywine were not predicted to win. Massey ratings had, I think, Harrisburg with an 85% chance of victory, which I don't think really painted the picture accurately, but that's all stats-based. UEC Hoops Pod had Brandywine as sure underdogs as well, but they showed there's levels to this game, and they showed they have another gear to kick up into against the big teams. 10s on the board, both teams, 13:33 left in this first half. Ball's in the hands of Kari Hyde. Blair to the baseline, misses on the floater, and Warren grabs that miss. Looking to go coast to coast, and in the end, he's fouled. I think he's a little lucky to get away with that one there, Evan Quintero. He definitely stood over the downed Brandywine man, Brian Warren. I think if he lingered there for another second or two, may have been teed up. Regardless, though, it is their second foul. Both teams with a foul apiece as Brian Warren takes to the stripe. The whole team shooting 69.5% from the free throw line this season. Warren, one of the better shooters, above that average. Now, the best shooter has just checked into this game, and Amari Little. He's shooting 90% from the stripe, which is 14th best in the NCAA. He is their best pure foul shooter. Normally, Warren, a whole lot better than that as well. He'll be disappointed to go 0 for there. Quintero. There's the feed for Blair. Takes the three and scores it off the glass. Well, not the start Penn State Brandywine wanted, but so far so good from a St. Mary's point of view. Coach Burke demanding more communication on floor from his team. He's got the core 4 scorers out there, Holland, Fogg, White, and Little. As White misses the mid-range effort. Well, I'm not so sure where the offense has gone. They've been scoring by committee this season with 4 average double figures, the 4 I already mentioned. Offense centered around Holland, the volume scorer with 2 extremely efficient complementary scorers in Fogg and White, and a guard in Little, who closes games at the line and normally makes those twos. There's Holland, though, weaving through the bodies and missing his effort. Third chance points here for Penn State Brandywine. Holland, touch and shoot. The 3 is short. Warren hits the ground hard after that 50-50 for the ball with Quintero, who doesn't seem to be afraid of a scrap, 6'9". Regardless, though, that kind of sums up the way this game has started for Penn State Brandywine. Lots of missed opportunities. They're not looking as sharp as they have all season. May have to dig a little bit deeper than they thought they would against the Seahawks here in front of a pretty good crowd in the Lions' Den to honor our 2 seniors. It's an offensive foul spotted off the ball by the officiating crew. Brandywine will benefit. He's not been in the game too long, Quintero, but he's already got a couple fouls under his belt.
Isaiah Johnson returns for Brandywine.
Well, St. Mary's have had a patchy conference run this season. Today entering on back-to-back conference wins for the first time in the campaign. Whistle goes in favor of Jabri White, who's back here on the stripe. Oh, he's shooting about 64% from the stripe, White. Considering he shoots 54% from the field, it probably should be a little bit higher. But it's something that has steadily increased through the season since his transfer, also from Newman. Another freshman member of the Seahawks, Sam Caldwell, checks into the action. Well, it's interesting to see him check in at the stage. He's only averaging a point per game with about a rebound per game as well over 10 games played. He is their lowest average scorer. Looks like he's going to sit on Isaiah Johnson here, though. Keep him quiet. Definitely looks like a physical guy as well. Maybe that's the key here to disrupt Brandywine's momentum, make things tougher for them as they drive towards the rim. Ben Coble for the Hawks. Into Caldwell. Closed down by 2 in White. Somehow, though, the Hawks still on the ball as they tried to put it off the window and in. The whistle will go in their favor. Well, St. Mary's are a balanced, disciplined group built around a 3-man scoring core. Blair leads them on the perimeter at nearly 14 a night and is reliable at the free throw line, while Cremaudo might be their most complete player. Although I don't think we've seen him yet that much in this game. He's got almost 14 points and 6 rebounds and shooting close to 40% from 3. Coverman adds another double-figure scorer who can stretch the floor, and inside Quintero anchors the defense with strong rim protection. Again, they're not explosive, but they're efficient and tough. And if they control the glass and hit open threes, they're a difficult team to beat. They knock down 2 throws to give them a 4-point edge. There's Little directing traffic. Johnson wants it inside. Johnson will get it. Tried to round the corner there, but misses the shot. Nearly tipped away there from Caldwell. Still on the ball here, though. Finds an open man. That'll be Ben Coble. Coble's cross-court throw to Thompson was nice, but the shot not nearly as good as the pass. And, yeah, I'm just getting word here now that James Kermoto will not be playing in this game, and that's bad news for the Hawks, Seahawks, that is. He is, again, probably their most complete offensive player. And they're going to miss that three as well. He shoots about 40% from downtown on average. Well, it's White's third trip back to the stripe here. Has not missed many from this spot on the floor today. Another perfect trip from Jabri White as he tries to improve that statistic. It's methodical from Penn State Brandywine. They're not panicking. They were down by as many as 5 or 6 points, but they're right back in this game at 1. Brian Warren, the guilty party there, as Brandywine commit their 4th foul of the first half at about the halfway point of it. That's off a blue shirt and out for Brandywine's game. 10:08 on the clock.
We're going that way.
Nelson waiting for the opportunity to materialize. Sees it in Fogg inside. On the turn, Fogg will miss off the window. Again, those bread and butter buckets for Penn State Brandywine that we've seen them score a million times all season haven't really fallen to the same effect here today. In fact, nobody out there on the floor has more than 3 points. Nelson with 3 and Fogg with 2, and that's about it from the 5 out there. It's another elementary miss from Jack Swider. Brandywine will likely rue those missed chances, and right on cue, their high-volume top scorer, Deuce Holland, is ready to join the action. And there's an immediate reply from the St. Mary's bench as Evan Quintero, maybe their best defender, is ready to guard Holland the rest of the way. 3-point lead held by the Seahawks. Nelson. Fogg is fed. Fogg with another drive to the rim, and on senior day, he will draw up the 3-point play. Well, St. Mary's have done really well to keep him quiet as far as limiting his opportunities. He's 2 for 3 now from the field. Normally at this stage, though, the big man has quite a few more points. Well, he's a guy who's really stepped up even further in conference play, taking more shots, absorbing more responsibility, and often closing games. He has thrived under the conference pressure, and so has Jabri White. Both of those guys on paper have really upped their game in UEC play. Two guys who have definitely led by example in the big games. Two big reasons as to why Brandywine are in the conversation for that 1 seed. Here's Kari Hyde. Has a glance at his coach. A little bit of a delay here as the play is drawn up. Quintero, it's slapped away from him by Deuce Holland, and then Quintero handles the ball out of play and falls into the Brandywine bench.
Jabri White returns to Brandywine.
Well, not just the men's program, but the women's team as well have done enough to secure a playoff spot. They're not in the conversation for the 1 seed, but they will be featuring in the postseason for the first time in the D3 era. Congratulations to the team and to Coach Johnson, of course, for entering those uncharted waters in the NCAA era. Well, it'll be Swider's first chance from the stripe here. He's looking to open his scoring account for the game. 0 for 2 as far as open play is concerned, but he doesn't mess around from the stripe. He will make his first throw, putting Brandywine up by 1 point. Lead rescued, the guests committing plenty of fouls in this first half, 7-4 in that regard. And that is the only reason Brandywine are on top right now and in the bonus. Definitely don't want to send this Lions team to the line too often. I mean, you could argue on the whole they're only shooting 70%, but they've got standouts in Swider, in Warren, in Little that can hurt you and bury you at the stripe. We will be right back. Back on the floor, Brandywine have fought hard for their lead at this stage. But the Seahawks not going down without a fight. They've not really beaten any of the top teams in the conference this season. They're 6-6. They've taken points off the programs who have struggled this campaign. This would be a big upset if they could manage. Well, obviously, I'm a big fan of this Penn State Brandywine basketball team, but I'm even bigger of a fan considering they're led by Coach Burke. I've been here longer than he's been here, but just the attitude that he's got, the energy he's brought to this program, the desire to win, the passion for the game. Definitely one of my favorite coaches here at Brandywine Athletics. He really cares. I knew that from the first game I saw him coach. I had a word with him during his first season. I knew what he was up to. I saw the plans. I saw the blueprint. And it's honestly been an honor to watch it materialize. Defense first mentality. He made them hard to beat. He made them nasty to play against in his first season. Didn't have too much success, though. Second season, things got a little bit better with the introduction of the program's new stars and Fogg and Little. And then this season, Burke's blueprint has really come to fruition with the team that is challenging for the top spot in the conference and a team that can well and truly go toe-to-toe with anybody in this division. Preseason, you thought Lancaster Bible would run away with the crown again. Well, they didn't win it last year, but they normally are towards the top in the regular season. But it's been a difficult campaign for everybody in the conference this year. It's very competitive, and with Brandywine playing like this, I think it's possible Burke can lead them to the promised land. Spoke with him preseason, of course. He told me this team should be making the playoffs. It was a bold statement. When he said it, I wasn't so sure he should have said it, and he said it publicly as well. All that stuff on social media for you to watch. But he knows better than me, clearly. This is definitely a team that should be making the playoffs each season. And again, that's another part of what he brings to this program that I love so much, the belief. And he's not afraid to make a big statement like that. 9 teams on the board here. They're back level, the guests. This Brandywine offense has ebbed and flowed in this game, that's for sure. Jabri White trying to kickstart something here. Normally he is the energy guy. He'll miss, though. No, you feel they're just one big play away from really going on a run, the Lions. We've seen them in this position before, looking a little like they're asleep at the wheel as far as offense is concerned. We've seen Jabri White slam down a dunk or two to really kickstart the offense, and they could really do with a play like that right now. Hooked pass. Good pass as well. Blair just short of the shot, and then Nelson does enough to win the whistle in the backcourt. Well, those are the rules of the game, but St. Mary's aren't too happy about that call. Sallow already on 3 fouls. And Nelson will walk the floor for the shot. I mean, to be fair to St. Mary's, Brandywine were in possession of the ball, and they were headed the other way. The foul somewhat brought back play. Brandywine do gain the advantage there, but if this was a different sport, if this was soccer, the referee would have probably played advantage there and allowed the attack to continue. Lions won't care. Nelson goes 1 for 2. Hyde. There is Sallow. 3 fouls already for the big man. 6'9" senior from Dunkirk, Maryland. He's going to have to be careful here. They've got both their big men on 3 fouls, I believe. Quintero may be on 2, but regardless, probably 1 too many for each guy, considering we've got 5 minutes left, 6 minutes in the first half. Tipped into Warren. Always in the right place at the right time. Swider receives from Fogg on the fast break. Brandywine settle. Fogg drives, and Fogg muscles it home. Well, the Seahawks down now by 3. Momentum seems to have swung in Brandywine's favor. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Brandywine trying to lock down on defense, and they do enough to force the miss and keep it alive. Great play from Holland. Well, considering how much he's scored, he has such consistent defensive attention. He's a pretty remarkable player. And I've said it all season, if you're Notre Dame, University of Maryland, and you're watching how good he's been this season for his new team, you're probably pretty upset. You strengthened a rival, and you strengthened a rival who you thought maybe wouldn't be a rival like they have been this season, and a big reason they have been is because of your old player in Deuce Holland. And it is remarkable that this guy didn't get a look for the Gators last year, considering how good and how talented he is. Not just in game, but in practice as well. I remember I observed a preseason practice, and I was instantly taken by his talent. You could tell he was going to do big things for this program. But not even I could have predicted he would be the team's top leader in each category: points, field goals, and threes. 362 points, 117 field goals, 62 threes. He has set the benchmark for this program. This is what a Brandywine player looks like now. And of course, this program has had past greats, but it's hard to compare to Holland because he's doing it at a higher level in D3. And it's not easy being a transfer student either. Whether or not you're a student athlete, it's difficult. But Holland has relished the opportunity and has really stamped his authority on this starting lineup. Dirty play from Penn State Brandywine there. Send Tristan Thompson to the stripe. 55% foul shooter. Whole team shooting about 68% this season as we take a look at the tail of the tape here. Brandywine, of course, with the stronger record through stronger offense. St. Mary's, again, they're going to have to hope that their three-headed attack hits, and today it's just a two-headed attack without Cramato fit for action. Brandywine, a better team shooting all around the floor, but rim protection may go St. Mary's way. Point was scored from the stripe there. Deuce Holland wanted it in the corner, got it a little bit too late. Godanya, it opened up for him, but he won't take the three. Deuce will, and Deuce will miss. Ball in the hands of Hyde. Right back with him as he looks to drive. Doubled in the paint and goes down for the whistle. Bit of a cheap foul, but a foul nonetheless. You would want him to win that foul if you're supporting his team, that's for sure. Well, it's the team's first ever meeting. This matchup comes down to style. Brandywine wants to play through its perimeter scores and stretch the floor with multiple shooting threats. Meanwhile, St. Mary's squad brings more interior size and rim protection, anchored by, of course, Quintero inside. If Brandywine controls tempo and knocks down threes, they have the edge. But if it turns into a physical half-court battle decided on the glass, the advantage shifts to the bigger, more defensive-minded group. Although they've got to keep their men out there. Quintero on three. Salo on three, both at 6'9". Why did he take his pants down there? Do you see that, Brownie? Well, Brownie on the camera here. Quintero just sagged his shorts for a second. Not too sure what he was trying to prove to the referee. He had a look at him. Deuce Holland pulled it a little to the right, and Quintero grabs the rebound. Well, I think he was trying to gesticulate towards the referee that perhaps Jabri White had a handful of his shorts, or perhaps his shirt. That's going to be a battle to keep your eyes on, and Quintero will have to tread carefully on three fouls. Godanya with another win, coast to coast. Couldn't get it done that time. It was an identical play. He'll look to make up for the mistake from deep, and he'll miss his three-pointer as well. Nice step into the lane. $1 million move, $1 million finish from Tristan Thompson. Looks like he's going to try to fill the shoes of James Cramato here today. It's a one-point game. Godanya touch and shoot. The three is good. Well, we spoke about Brandywine's core four, but they've got three pretty strong rotation scorers as well in Swider, Warren, and Godanya. Brandywine with 7 players averaging 5 points per game, 4 players averaging 10 plus, and 1 player averaging 15 or more. That is, of course, Deuce Holland. Neither team happy with exactly what went on there. Brandywine want the travel called. Looked like a travel from my point of view, but it's not going to be the call they're looking for. Instead, Ben Bass is flagged for the foul. And just like that, the teams are tied at 9 fouls apiece. Noah Brazil from Columbia, Maryland is here to shoot after winning the whistle. 50% shooter from the stripe. We're seeing a couple more of their rotation players than we're used to this season. At this stage of the season, it's surprising, but maybe Coach Harney looking towards the postseason. Again, his team has already done enough. They're not hunting for a high seed. I think they're going to face a high seed in the first round regardless of the result today. Make sure you check out GoUnitedEast.com for the standings. Take a look at that after the games are all over today, and you'll see exactly what's going to happen in the postseason. Little knocks down a three right in front of the Seahawks bench, and Brandywine lead by 4. I heard the whistle go for it. No, we're not calling time. Okay. Coach Berg changed his mind. Penetration here from Brazil. Tripled. Forced back to Hyde. Inside. Good play. Quintero scores. Well, they got him open in the back door. Fogg wasn't ready to deal with the threat. Tried to come up with the block, but couldn't get it done. Warren lets fly and scores. Now he calls time with 1 minute in the half. Penn State Brandywine lead by 5 points. Starting to look red hot here on Valentine's Day from downtown. We'll be right back. Just a minute left here in the first. After a couple of difficult moments to start the frame, Brandywine are starting to look like a team that is competing for the 1 seed. There's another stop for the Lions, somewhat forced by Vaughn Nelson, who then checks out for Deuce Holland. 42.5 seconds on the clock. Brandywine looking to make every second count with their core 4 scoring group out there. And supporting scorer, of course, in Brian Warren. Well, that doesn't go their way there. Offensive foul spotted. Not too sure what the call was, but it's going to go against Jaden Fogg. Guests in the double now. Oh, just half a minute left in this first half. Maybe one last chance for St. Mary's to go into the halftime talk with the positive to take and perhaps wind in their sails. Brandywine looking for a stop as they've looked for as their favorite play to make since Burke's introduction to this program. Won't be the stop they wanted, though. They send St. Mary's to the stripe here. With just 11 seconds left on the clock, they've got a chance to make it a 3-point game. Quintero will shoot. .65% shooter. Looking to double his total in this game. His first one rings out. Hit the rim at about every single possible spot before evading the hole. Quintero's toss. He'll take one. Ten seconds on the clock. So look for Josh Mayer late in the half. Pretty young team. St. Mary's, just three upperclassmen rather. The rest all freshmen, save for the one sophomore, Sekou Bangora. 7 freshmen in a squad of 12. Five seconds. One last chance. 3 seconds. 2. St. Mary's here on the attack. It's a hopeful 3. It's missed. And that's all she wrote in the first half. It's a 4-point game after the first 20. 33-29, Brandywine lead. So far, so good. We'll get you an update on the Harrisburg-Blank Bible game. That's the big one to watch out for. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with the news.
Most likely to be in the gym? Who spends the most time with the trainer? Who's coach's favorite?
JD.
Who's most likely to be studying for exams? Who would win in a race?
Definitely not
Who has the most fans at a game?
I'll go with Mike. I'll go with Mike.
Who has better style?
Depends if you say that's good style or not. I'll say JB. I'll take myself. All right, I'll take JB.
Who has the best pregame playlist?
I think it's me. Yeah, I go Brownie. I listen to Brownie's playlist.
Who's most likely to be late to practice?
I'll probably come up with a bad excuse too.
Who's most locked in during a game?
Definitely JB.
Who's coach's least favorite?
All right, back here in the Lions Den on Valentine's Day for the second half. Brandywine lead by 4 points, but they made a meal of their shooting all over the floor, shooting just 29% in the first frame. Not good enough for Coach Burke. He had his guys back out here shooting around to stay hot with about 5 minutes to go in halftime. And then St. Mary's did the same. Both teams were actually on the floor. They've both been on the floor for about 5 minutes now. Leading the game, currently Corey Blair with 8 points. Brandywine led by Fogg and White with 7 apiece as we are back here for the second half. Just 9 for 31 from the field, 4 for 11 from downtown. That's what kept them in this game. Same with their foul shooting, 11 for 14, Brandywine. They got way more looks, though, than St. Mary's. They just didn't finish at the better rate. St. Mary's 41.7 from the field, 10 for 24 total. Nobody shot great, though. They're normal, high-efficient scorers from the field, including Jabri White and Deuce Holland. Shot maybe their worst first half in Brandywine colors. Deuce 0 for 6. Don't think I've ever said that before. And Jabri White 1 for 6. Did do a lot of scoring, though, from the stripe. 5 for 5. 11 of Brandywine's 33 total have come from the foul line, with 12 more coming from downtown. Brandywine commit the offensive foul to start the second half. Fogg on his third foul. Well, it's definitely been a physical game, and like I said earlier in the matchup, the physical game likely suits the larger team, which on paper is St. Mary's. Not by much, though. Touch and shoot. There's the 3 ball that's knocked down by Corey Blair, and he's the first man to reach double figures in the game. 33 to 32, 11 points for their number 3, who is now 3 for 6 from downtown. White scores. That's more like him. Salo. Well, they've got the big 6'9" J.D. Salo out there on 3 fouls. Earned them all in the first. They're going to need to keep him out there. He or Quintero, or ideally both if they are, to take something from this game. That was far too easy for Fogg to find White there for the dunk. Spoke about him being the energy guy. That could be the energy Brandywine need to go on a bit of a run here. 5-point lead. Wants him to take the shot there, but Hyde goes back to his teammate Coverman. Hyde will then shoot. Those two sharing a bit of the ball, but it's missed, and it's in the hands of Deuce Holland, as it often is. One of the more efficient and effective ball handlers on this team, but today has not found his shooting boots. Little will score, though. Time is called by the visitors, down 8 by the largest margin so far. They've got some adjusting to do. It's not the start to the half they were looking for. Well, hopefully they can keep the scoring going, Penn State Brandywine, because they're coming off a pretty similarly close game that perhaps shouldn't have been. They traveled to D.C. to play Gallaudet. They won 63-59, Brandywine earning the big United East win on February 10th using a strong second-half push and a clutch late basket from White to seal the deal. The Lions shot just under 40% from the floor, but made key plays when it mattered most. Holland led the offensive effort with his usual scoring presence, while Fogg added efficient production inside and on the glass. White delivered in the clutch, and the Lions' balanced attack helped them grind out a tight conference win. It was a resilient performance and has Brandywine in a good position for a high seed, but it probably shouldn't have been, considering that GD are 1-11 in the conference this season. So maybe we're looking at a similar game today. St. Mary's a better team than Gallaudet on paper. No disrespect to the Bison, but I'm going by record here. Brandywine may need a strong second half to beat them, as they needed a strong second half to beat Gallaudet 4 days ago. Well, today's all about the 1 seed. Brandywine in the conversation for the 1 seed because they stack up with anyone in the United East. They are among the top teams in scoring, hovering in the mid-70s per game, and they're one of the better three-point shooting groups in the conference. In a season where several teams are separated by just a game or two, Brandywine's offensive efficiency and ability to close at the line through guys like Amari Little are major reasons they're right at the top of the standings race. I told you I'd get you an update on the Harrisburg game. Waiting on the news here, but I'll get that to you shortly. Harrisburg, of course, a perennial powerhouse in the conference in pretty much every sport. It's definitely a school as far as branch campuses that Brandywine look up to as far as athletic prestige. Looks like there's not as much distance between the two as we may have thought, at least on the basketball court and on the softball field as well. Harrisburg, though, a well-established G3 program. Brandywine have some catching up to do, that's for sure. Eyes are on their game right now. They're playing Lancaster Bible. It's senior day. It's in Middletown. And right now, Harrisburg are down by 50-36 in the second half. Not the way Brandywine want that game to go. They are rooting for Harrisburg today. They want Lancaster Bible to lose, but the Chargers on top, courtesy of 19 points from Camden Hurst and 14 from Connor Storr, two guys who we saw here in the Lions Den, two guys who have carried the scoring all season for the Chargers, and two guys who are a big reason as to why they are the favorites to win the whole thing. Harrisburg voted the second best in the preseason poll. I believe Brandywine were 8th. They have far outperformed expectations, and it's a team that's had to really fight for the respect that they deserve. A lot of people sleeping on the Lions this season, including many other teams and fans and outspoken fans of this conference. Lawrence rebound after Jabri's miss. And Brandywine now lead by double figures, 11 points. Largest lead of the game for either side. And again, things are looking at, well, they're looking like they're starting to come to fruition for Penn State Brandywine. And yeah, it's looking a little bit like that Gallaudet game at this stage. Fans not happy with the call. Cries of no from the crowd. A couple fouls apiece for both teams. Warren on 2 now. Has paired that with 5 points for a pretty consistent day. Hyde inside. Thompson on the turn, surrounded by outstretched Brandywine arms. Thompson, though, finds a way through and scores. That's a great play from Tristan Thompson. Strength on full display from 6'5" freshman forward. White no-look pass. Deuce Holland. That's Brandywine at its best. Deuce in the corner. And White stitching things together. He's fouled on his way to the hole there, Quintero. Well, he seems to always have a say in these St. Mary's games. Such an important member of the team for a guy who, in Chris Harney, the head coach, is also the assistant athletic director and diversity and inclusion designee, while leading the program. He's a busy guy. He wears many hats. He played for St. Mary's. He's come back to lead them and build the most successful era in program history. He's a lifer, that's for sure. He loves this program. He's been with it for well over 20 years at this stage. 20 years exactly as a head coach, but of course spent his time as a player before that. Fogg, mid-ranger, and he'll score. 48-36. There's Thompson again looking for a drive to the rim. Kicks it out. Coverman can't can it. And Brandywine rescue the rebound. Kept alive by Deuce, who scores. Well, initially it was Corey Blair to keep it in play at the baseline, but unfortunately for him, he put it right into the hands of Brandywine's top scorer. Foul spotted. Warren commits his third of the game. Both teams now with a couple guys on a few fouls. Warren and Fogg, 3 apiece for Brandywine. Quintero and Salo, 3 each as well. Thompson, Quintero, in the corner. It's knocked down by Coverman. Fogg's put back. Now they're starting to run away with this one, Penn State Brandywine, but there will be opportunities for St. Mary's, of course. Brandywine tend to keep things interesting at the end of games, and Fogg is now on 4 fouls. Well, the big man's got 11 points on senior day here, but he's going to be protected for perhaps a late cameo. Not going to see too much more of him, it seems. And Big Ben Bass will play in his stead. Plays drawn up by St. Mary's. That wasn't part of the play. Brandywine commit the offensive foul. Well, compared to the rest of the conference, Brandywine do commit quite a few fouls, and they send their opponents to the stripe more than other top teams. I think they've surrendered the second most foul throw attempts. Luckily for them, teams aren't scoring at such an incredible rate from the stripe, but they are giving up freebies due to a perceived lack of discipline at times. Blair. Well, he's been the star of the show, and he wins his team a 3-point play. Deuce on 3 fouls, too. Well, that's how it'll all come apart if it does for Penn State Brandywine. 75% of the offense comes from 5 to 6 players on this team. Holland, Fogg, White, Little, Swider, Warren, Gadanya. If one of those get in foul trouble, the team may not be deep enough to cope, especially if it's one of the core 4, Holland, Fogg, White, and Little. And we've already got one guy on 4 fouls. 3-point play is finished off by Blair. 14 points now for him on the day. And he also puts his team in the bonus with that whistle one. Little trying to weave through the bodies. Gadanya's corner 3 is good. Well, he had maybe a quarter of a second, the lefty there with the ball in his hands, but he let fly. He has confidence in that shot, and he puts Brandywine up by 13 points. Well, it looked like it may have been an easier game than it truly has been at this stage. You're going to have to cope without Jaden Fogg for a little bit. Brandywine have a decently deep squad as Ben Bass pulls up for two, misses. Other outlets in the United East have said Brandywine lack squad depth. They've got a good 6 or 7 players. I think that's decent. It's not the best as far as squad depth is concerned, but for D3, it's not too bad, and for the United East, it does compare. Misses the layup there, does Blair. Brandywine feed Deuce in the corner, who's short of the shot. Offensive foul. Little planted his feet and put his body on the line for his team's gain. Well, they racked up 9 fouls after 10 minutes in the first, St. Mary's, but after 8, they've only got 3, while Brandywine have 7. Johnson's back. Swider's back too. Can't understate how well Swider's done this season. I mean, he's got double figures from the bench time after time, and he's also got about 5 rebounds per game as well, which is something last season we didn't see too much of from one of Brandywine's tallest out there, 6'6". Deuce for 3. Well, Deuce just hasn't been at his best, but Johnson will make up for the mistake with the bucket and the whistle. Freshman member to feature the most. Next to Amar Gadania, Johnson doesn't make it a 3-point play. Quintero, top of the key, short of the shot, rebounded by Jabri White, and it's back with Brandywine. Little's drive. Tried to scoop it in, but misses his chance. Deuce Holland, right place at the right time, but slaps it right back into the hands of Bangura. And then Bangura forces Deuce into the kickball. Not the right Holland out there. Coble. White goes down. Burke maybe more animated about that call than I've seen him in some time. But he is seeing a significant section of the core 4 scorers on 3 or more fouls. Little and White both with 3 apiece. Fogg on 4, of course, as we already spoke about. And Holland just not shooting at his best. Not as effective as we've seen him time and time again in Brandywine colors today. Guests chipping away here. Quintero knocks down both of his free throws and makes it, again, a 13-point game. Oh, excuse me. Little only has 1 foul. Brandywine pinned back, full court press from St. Mary's. They normally don't play that. Normally sit in the half court. Ben Bass in the corner for 3. That's from Rio de Janeiro right there from the Brazilian. He scores the bucket to make it 60-44. Coverman can't find the hole as Bass did moments earlier. Yeah, just to correct the record here, out of the core 4 top scorers, you've got Holland on 3 fouls, that is, Fogg on 4, and White on 3 as well. Not where you want to be. 3 of your best going forward. Need to tread carefully, especially Fogg, who we haven't seen for probably 5 minutes at this stage. No doubt he'll be reintroduced at some point. We are honoring him on Senior Day, and we'll start to get into a little bit about our seniors now. On the floor right now, of course, is Amari Little. In 2 seasons for Penn State Brandywine, he has really starred. One of the most efficient scorers in Penn State Brandywine recent history. He's averaged 13.2 points per game in his 2-season career with the Lions. After his transfer from Newman, making 16% of Brandywine's total points since he's arrived. He's shooting 45% from the field, 40% from 3, and over 92% from the stripe on his career. Last season, he earned 2nd team All-Conference after ranking 2nd nationally with 94% foul shooting. He is also a 2-time UEC Player of the Week. Little made his mark, and in his debut, dropped an unforgettable 30 points on November 8th of 2024 and added a double-double against Penn College a little bit later. Little leaves his mark as a clutch shooter, proven scorer, and a steady leader for the Lions who can kill games off at the foul line all on his own. Going to be a big miss, Amari Little, for this program, but he is definitely one of those blueprint players Coach Burke found out of the transfer portal, proving to himself he can scout talent, and he can definitely do it again and has done it again with guys like Deuce Holland transferring into Penn State Brandywine. Congratulations, Amari, on your not only Penn State Brandywine basketball career, but your basketball career at the college level and at any level at large. It's been an honor to call your games, and I'll miss you out there in the 5 in the blue and white of Penn State Brandywine. .8:56 on the clock. Brandywine up heavy, but again, they will send the visitors back to the stripe to chip away at the lead as Jack Swider punches the chair on the bench in frustration. Update from the ever-important Harrisburg game. Lancaster Bible still on top. It is 59-43. Better second half than the first for Harrisburg, but they surrendered 46 first-half points, and, well, you can't really do that against the top teams in the conference. Maybe they'll come back, though. You never know. Up in the air as far as the first seed is concerned. Johnson, all day, misses. Nelson, contesting for the rebound, hits the deck and sees the Blues come away with the ball. Warren playing some clean basketball there, and it's smart play from Brandywine's guard. Didn't send St. Mary's back to the stripe where they wanted to go. You could see they were trying to draw contact. In the end, the shot wasn't nearly up to snuff, and Brandywine get away with it. 46 points for SMC, but Brandywine lead with 60 on the board. Again, there's Johnson. Blocked by 6'9" Salo, who wins the ball back yet again. Again, Warren defends cleanly, but this time Tristan Thompson scores. Pinned back by the full court for a moment, but there's Gadania encroaching into Brandywine's attacking half. Gadania releases the 3 and scores. Right on cue, Coach Burke calls time, and we will be right back. All right, we're back. Brandywine up 63-48 after a Coach Burke signature momentum thwarting cynical timeout. OTP nearly went the way of St. Mary's, but they missed the 3 ball, and it's back with Brandywine. Well, at this stage of the game, there's no real need for them to push the pace. Just play methodical, play smart, look for quality looks over quantity looks. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. They're taking every second. Warren, open, misses. And then Nelson and White getting each other's way for the board, and it's back with the Blues. St. Mary's, they've got a pretty clean away jersey, the blue and gold. And if you saw some of their warm-up, they've got these blue and yellow tearaway joggers. Dressed sharp for Valentine's Day, that's for sure. Oh, love is in the air today, and St. Mary's foul throws have been in the air today all day as well. It's very much a game of 2 halves. Brandywine were the ones to keep things close from the stripe in the first, but in the second, the Seahawks have hit the line time and time again. They're 13 for 19 from the stripe. Brandywine 12 of 17. Shooting has drastically improved from a Brandywine point of view. Now 35%. Still not their best. Still not really where you want to be if you're going to be the Conference 1 seed. But it's perhaps shooting they can get away with in a game like this. Again, Brandywine really with more to play for today than St. Mary's. Of course, the Seahawks want to spoil the party. You never want to lose. That's not why you play the game, but Brandywine definitely feeling the nerves a little bit more. Well, you can afford to send a team to the stripe when they're not making their throws, and finally Jaden Fogg checks back in. 4 fouls for the big man here on senior day, and here's a little bit about what he's been up to as a Brandywine athlete. Here's his career by numbers. We're including his time at Bucks County. He's played just 5 shy of 100 games in his collegiate basketball career with 1,120 points. He is the active points leader on this team as well as rebounding leader too with 735. Jaden Fogg is the team's interior anchor and one of the most consistent two-way players in the United East for the last couple of seasons. A third-team all-conference selection last campaign, Fogg was top 10 in the league on the glass and in blocked shots. But this season, he's arguably been better. A career-high 30-point game earlier in the season, reaching 1,000 career points soon after. He's averaged 12 points per game as Brandywine's physical presence, rim protector, and steady leader in the paint. Fogg will finish his career with an average of 12 points and 7 rebounds per game, scoring close to 600 total Brandywine points and grabbing 18% of the team's total on the glass with 317 rebounds. Fogg has gotten better every game. Of course, he's playing for Bucks County Community College. They're a good JUCO program, but they're not a program like Penn State Brandywine, a 4-year program in the NCAA. And Fogg, you have to say, you could tell he's really relished the challenge of playing NCAA ball where I think he belongs. He's got a better points per game record at the D3 level than in JUCO. Also on Fogg, just a really nice guy, leader. Gives a great post-game interview as well. Always shakes my hand, says hi, says what's up before these games. Those little things don't go unnoticed, and he's a guy who will be a big miss, both literally and figuratively speaking, for this Brandywine team. It's going to hurt to see you go, Jaden, but I've enjoyed watching you play the last couple seasons. But if you notice the percentages that I've been talking about, as far as he and Little, you're noticing that Brandywine are going to be down about 32% of the team's total points from the last couple seasons. Fogg with 16% of the team's buckets. Little with 16% of the team's buckets. Where are those points going to come from? They've got to replace pretty much 1,000 points for next season, or that level of quality, of course. Again, 32% of the team's total points the last couple seasons will be graduated. It's just 2 players as well, both of them on the floor now, Little and Fogg. I would be worried if Coach Burke wasn't at the helm, because that guy knows what a good basketball player looks like. And he's got the gift of gab clearly to entice transfer after transfer. And not just your run-of-the-mill transfer student, but top players, diamonds in the rough, ready to be extracted and perform on the big stage. And again, he's probably already got his eyes on their replacements. They're probably already in the team. Little side to side, steps back for 3 and misses on the attempt. Well, last season we saw Little pick up double digits pretty much every single game. That's his average this season as well, but again, he's got a much different role with this team this season. And the big man, Jaden Fogg, does too. Today he's got 5 assists, 7 rebounds, and shooting 5 for 11 from the field to lead the team. As I was yapping there, the guests bagged a 3 ball, and that does make things quite interesting for the rest of this game. They're only down now by 12 with 4:07 on the clock. It's by no means an insurmountable task. Brandywine gotta get back to their defensive best. That's not what Coach Burke wanted. 10-point ball game now. It's getting nervy here in the Lions' Den. And St. Mary's are buoyed by the confidence, and they win back the ball in their own offensive end. What are Brandywine doing out there right now? That'll help. St. Mary's travel. Well, another thing that'll weigh heavy in Brandywine's mind, they've got 3 minutes, 42 seconds left with St. Mary's in the double bonus. And at just a 10-point game, the Seahawks can smell the upset here. Not where I thought we'd be with 4 left on the clock. Brandywine give it away off the inbound. It's all starting to fall apart here for the Lions. Maybe they've had a look at that Harrisburg game and they know that the 1 seed is probably not going to be theirs. And 1 for SMC. Wow, just like that, a 13-point gap is now just 8. I'm at a loss for words, to be completely honest with you here. Checking up on the Harrisburg game. It's 7 minutes left in that one. It's 65-47 in favor of LBC, who, if they win, will be the 1 seed. 26 Camden Hurst points have set them on that track. Buddy shooting 4 for 6 from downtown, 9 for 5 overall, with 3 assists as well. They will finish off that 3-point play, 65-58. Brandywine really struggling against this full court press. That has been an issue for them all season, but they evade it. Warren in the paint wins the whistle. Well, it's so funny how things can change in the game of basketball. First half, Brandywine forcing a lot of fouls out of St. Mary's. They had 3 guys on 3 fouls each. But it's flipped in the second half. Brandywine now with Warren, Deuce Holland, and Fogg on 4 fouls apiece. And it's, again, just funny how the sport of basketball works out. Sometimes the things you see on paper materialize. I had said if even one of the core 4 are in foul trouble, they're in trouble in general. But they've got now Fogg and Deuce their 2 top scorers per game on 4 fouls apiece, with Jabri White not far behind. Oh, Jabri White's on 4 as well. Jeez. And Brian Warren, too. They've got 4 guys in foul trouble, 4 guys averaging 5+ per game, 4 guys who are a heavy usage as far as minutes are concerned. They may have to look for Amari Little to put the team on his back, as he did all last season offensively. He's only got 1 foul to his name. It's not looking amazing for Penn State Brandywine, to be completely frank. I always say it right down the line. At the end of the day, working as a broadcaster, not a cheerleader, and I'm getting a little nervous for my Lions right now. We'll be right back. Well, keen ear from the camera operator, Ryan Brown, heard Coach Burke during that timeout. Looks like Fogg is going to be utilized as a mostly offensive option for the remainder of the contest, as he is on 4 fouls. Deuce Holland on 4 as well, and fouls out. So someone's got the stats wrong, because I'm pretty sure that's his 5th. Yeah, that's foul 5 for Deuce. Not great. Well, Brandywine will have to play the final 3 minutes with just an 8-point lead, without their top scorer on the season averaging 15 points per game, and their top rebounder on the season averaging 6.5 boards per contest. There is number 1 of the core 4 finished for the day. Core force number 2, Jaden Fogg, jogs back onto the floor with 4 fouls on his record today. Quintero, it's just 6 points now. They have outshot their average today from the stripe. St. Mary's, they've done really well to keep this one interesting at this stage. Given away right back to the Blues. Thompson, Quintero misses, and it's rebounded by Warren. He's fouled. No, they're not going to get the foul they want. Burke apoplectic. He's losing his mind out there on the sidelines. Not sure he's going to have any voice left for Valentine's Day. He wants his team to call time. Instead, though, they're going to run out of time on the baseline, and Brandywine will call time instead.
The full timeout, 2:52 to go, second half.
Well, I'm going to take a quick break to see if I can get an ear to exactly what Burke is saying. Both teams with 2 timeouts left. We'll be right back. Back underway. Brandywine do well enough to evade the full court press. And then the steal as well. Seeing that full court press from St. Mary's really hurt and really affect Penn State Brandywine's ability to get up the floor. Pinning them back in the corner time and time again. It's an emphatic punch of the basketball away by Quintero, who keeps Amari Little from scoring. It's going to be Little time. It was Little time pretty much every game last season, but this is going to be a game for Little to stand up. There's his senior counterpart, Jaden Fogg, who wins the whistle. No, and Fogg stays down. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Worst case scenario has been realized here. Fogg forced off. White takes his throws instead. That part isn't worst case scenario. White is shooting really well from the stripe today. 7 for 8. Might be his best performance from the foul line, but you just lost your leader, your second top scorer, second top rebounder, blocks leader, and most consistent efficient scorer in Jaden Fogg, who's being looked after by Dr. Mike courtside. Fogg walked off on his own volition, which is always good to see, but he tweaked the left leg and went down hard on the ankle as well. And hopefully, for Brandywine's sake, not just in this game but beyond, he will remain fit to play. Why? Brandywine give it away. Oh, there's a saying in business. Keep it simple, stupid. I don't know why Brandywine went for that Hail Mary pass there. Offensive foul bails the Brandywine Lions out there, but we are in for an absolute spectacle of a final minute 44. Brandywine arrive in the bonus. They've had to deal with the opponent in the bonus probably for 5 minutes at this stage. That's the man you want, though, today at least. You either want Little or White on the stripe, and White will look to capitalize. There's a bucket for the forward. Repeat process, 69-62, 7-point lead. Minute 44. It's anybody's game. Walk the dog nearly to the halfway line there, due St. Mary's. Taking care of the clock at this stage is going to be a big key to what may be their victory as Quintero runs into a white wall. Here's the drive. Warren plays a good defense. Hyde, again, still with the ball in his hands, pulls up for the jumper and cans it. 5-point game. Well, sometimes you're nervous to perform on Valentine's Day. Brandywine definitely looked like it today, as White is fouled by Quintero. Well, he leads the team today with 15 total points. He scored 9 of them from the foul line today, Jabri White. And again, he's shooting just 65% from the stripe on the season. He has far outperformed that average today. Bit of an impromptu timeout here, as both coaches have a late message to get to their teams. Good to see Jaden Fogg back on his feet, back with the team on the bench, away from Dr. Mike. This game absolutely hangs in the balance. We'll take one last look at the Harrisburg game. 75-53, that one's surely over. 2 minutes left, and Camden Hurst on 30 points. They're on a roll here, the Chargers, and they're going to win that game, most likely. Jabri White with a job to do here. Ooh, probably the worst throw of the night, and maybe at the worst possible time. He'll make it one. He will put Brandywine on 70 points, and time is called by St. Mary's. We will be right back. Well, behind Jabri White's double-double, Penn State Brandywine are on top by 6 points with a minute to go. I thought that was going to trim the margin to 3 there, but it's a missed 3 ball from the team in blue, and they're going to hustle the foul, Penn State Brandywine. Great ball movement from the Lions. Warren is blocked. Right play from both teams there. In the corner, Thompson takes the 3 on and juices it a little too much. Little in the backcourt, joined by Warren and Swider, and then Brandywine call time. Late drama on the way. Be right back. Well, it all comes down to this, the final 30 seconds. Warren in no man's land from an SMC point of view. He'll score off the glass. Well, they've got daylight now between themselves and St. Mary's, but St. Mary's will fight to the end, and there's a big three to make it 72-67. 25 seconds left in the contest. Little, Swider, he's fouled.
Fouls on St. Mary's number 10, Kristen Thompson, his third. Team fouls, 1-1 for Jack.
So starting to look like Brandywine will be the 2 seed in the conference. Still good news for the team. Not what they wanted today, but destiny was not within their control, and they will blame themselves for that. Another foul spotted. It's in favor of St. Mary's, and it's somewhat needless from a Penn State Brandywine point of view. Fogg fouls out. Well, both teams showing that this one's far from over. Both coaches now in discussion with their teams as to exactly how to close out this game. Well, I have some. It might not be the best news. Looks like Brandywine may actually be the 3 seed. Karen won today. They're 11-2. Lancaster Bible also 11-2. Regardless, though, the top 4 get a bye in the first round. And if Brandywine wind up the 3 seed, they'll play the number 6 on February 21st here in the Lions Den. That'll be live for you right here on the ball, of course. Not going anywhere for that one. Right now, number 6 is St. Mary's. Could be a rematch in round number 2. Good win from Gadania, who is fouled. That could be one of the biggest plays of his Penn State Brandywine career so far right there, Mark Gadania. And he will buy himself a trip to the stripe as Brandywine are on the double bonus. Well, he's a good shooter, Gadania. We know that. 73% from the stripe. Good guy to have at this stage. You'd want it to be Jabri White, or you'd want it to be Little. Swider as well, Warren as well. In fact, you know, Coach Burke's so smart. I'm just realizing now he's got 5 pretty dangerous foul shooters out there on the floor. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows better than me. He's got his closers in this game. All these guys right now outperforming the team's average from the stripe this season. 10.7 left. Gadania knocks down 2, and Brandywine are on top now by 8 points, which with 10 seconds left on the clock may be enough. St. Mary's are going to stretch the clock. Make it count here. That's missed, and that is likely to be game. Airballed out. Brandywine ball. 5 on the clock, and St. Mary's made this one tight, made this one interesting throughout. No clear better team in this contest, but sometimes you got to win ugly, especially in the conference, and a win is a win is a win. Brandywine won't mind. Swider. Warren. That'll be it. Penn State Brandywine win their final game of the regular season at 68-74. Congratulations to the team, to the coaching staff for what has been a quite remarkable season. Unprecedented success, and there's more to come. Jabri White, what a performance he had today. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 10 for 13 from the stripe, and 3 assists. But we're going to catch up with our seniors, Jaden Fogg and Amari Little, after the game. That interview will be available on Instagram at PSUBW Sports in probably 15 or so minutes. Switch over to the women's game. There's more action to come here on the ball, but until then, this has been Hunter Stravachi, and I'll see you in the next one.